Hello, so today I'm going to be putting together a quick piece from the snake book that I shown you in a previous video. And so it's basically two elements that I put together. Is the base image of this snake and what I got and printed off from the internet of this flowing down this flowing down of money. So I'm going to put this together, cut this up, put this together and see how well it works. So let's get going. So the first thing I'll do is I shall remove this snake from this page, and this leftover one can go to one side. So I've got my usual scalpel. At some point I'm going to experiment with putting some rubber around here to make it easier to grip for my hands and see how well that works, because nowadays gripping onto this thin metal has been a little harder, so I'm wondering if having some foam to grip onto might help, because that sometimes you can get pens and pencils that have the extra foam grip for that reason, for if you have achy hands, as I will as I've got a bit older now. I'm doing this bit first. This is one of the trickier bits. There's lots of little fiddly bits to cut out, or a few anyway. And this is what, even some of the people who like to routinely use scissors, they will go to a scalpel to do something like this, because you can't do something like this with scissors, even though they like the cut that the different style of cut that you get from scissors as opposed to a scalpel. The cut is supposed to look different, so that's something I may experiment with at some stage. It's just I've always done it with some kind of a knife, so this is basically all I've really known, apart from I did do, when I was in high school, or secondary school as we call it in this country, in one of my art classes, what would be considered a mixed media piece, because it was partly painted, where it was based upon Pink Floyd's The Wall. So I'd drawn out the bricks of the wall, the Gerald Scarfe style, like on the cover, and I was basically obsessed with drawing that because I really got into that album and I love the artwork of it. You're going to hear more about that in a future favourite record covers episode. Well, I feel weird calling them episodes, it makes it sound like a TV show. But I suppose that's what they are, it's just episodic content. And so basically I cut out the bit with from the walls, bricks on the wall, and I put in something that I adapted a bit, something I saw in a dream. I remember I was walking through a field of a music event and everybody there had shining eyes, so I took a picture of a guitarist, Joe Satriani, because that's what I had to hand, and painted his eyes in so they were shining, and put that behind there. So that was a cutting that I did at the time, and I wouldn't have used a knife or a scalpel then, so I probably poked a hole in the middle with the scissors and cut around that way, and that was really the only time I ever used scissors to do anything like that. This is before I really properly got into this kind of artwork. Back then that was just me messing around in an art class. This little $100. Notice they're all $100 bills for some reason. This little $100 bill that I've just cut out there, I'll put to one side, see if I actually need it. I might not. We'll see when it all starts to come together. Once I've cut all this out and put the money in place, and we'll see how well it looks. It may need to go on as a final flourish. We will see. So there's a logic behind here of using a snake. I had the idea when I was looking for that book of having money flowing down like that, because unscrupulous and dishonest financial dealers can be described as being very snake-like. You've heard the term snake in the grass. So that's where that came from. It is one of those blunt force pieces. And there's did something similar with that money charmer piece, but I'd replace the money with the snake with money. So this is not the first time I've had this connection. There's a negative connotation with snakes as being dishonest, and there's a belief in those who chase a loss of wealth as being dishonest. Not everybody who's rich is dishonest, obviously, but that is the view of venture capitalists. They tend to have like a bit of a bad name for themselves, so this is a reason for that. Cutting for this is going actually pretty quickly and going quite well, which I'm always glad about. So I like doing this. I like if I can get it done quickly. So that's what I like about collage, how quick and immediate it is. While in the past I could paint to an extent, it took an awful long amount of time. So I like how immediate collage is. Bit of laziness going on there, I know. Well, if you feel like the sound is any better these days, it's because I'm not just using the microphone on my phone. I've actually, as a little experiment, borrowed my son's gaming headset, because I'm filming this while he's at school anyway, and that has a microphone in it. So I look quite ridiculous right now with the ear cans of it right down by my face, because I don't want to have the earphones on, because I find it distracting. Because if like the lead rubs against the earphone, you don't pick it up on the microphone, but I do. I hear the noise of it grating against it, and I find it distracting. The only thing about me doing these collages for videos is the fact that, apart from the fact that I'm talking here, there's nothing I've put on the background to help me along. So I used to always have videos or films or music on. Obviously I can't here because you won't be able to hear me talking as well, but also copyright reasons. And I haven't quite got my business together enough to spend the time editing of and putting some music on in the background, doing the speeded up footage with music behind me. Instead you're going to hear my waffle, unfortunately for you. There you go, it's a rather quick cut job. Let's see how this goes here. They go together here. So I'm going to have to do some cuts with the snake, because obviously you want to see the snake, but I'm going to have him looping around through the money. So let's cut this. Cut there. Cut around there. I don't want to cut the entire snake, because you will, no matter how neatly I do it, you will still be able to see the cut line. I don't really want to do that, unless I have to. Now the idea is I'm going to have this bit, these bills go behind his head, but this one go in front of it. But I've got a little bit to cut off here. So like I said, it's snaking around him and he's snaking around it. So I'm going to cut this bit out here so you can see the money through the tree branch, but I'm not going to completely lose it because it's got to go back. Let's have another look here about how this is going to look. That's looking good on there. Just need to tidy this up a bit. It needs to be a bit neater. And now I shall cut through his head. Well, not through his head, I shall cut the head out. This is almost a bit like special effects work, the old special effects work you'd see where you'd have things being composited. So it being dark will work because you can draw on edges and have them black, and you won't see all those bits. But on a light thing, you can't do those black outlines because it sticks right out, unless that's the look you're actually going for. I actually like how this works. No way how it slips around a bit more. In fact, I like that so much, I don't want this to move at all. So I'm going to start to stick some bits down here while it's in place instead of taking it out, gluing it by itself. Means the gluing job takes a bit longer. And here's a trick for scalpel users. They're also very good for picking up the bits of paper, picking up the corners. So this almost done. This is actually going very well for me. Don't know why I'm surprised, but I was a little iffy about how well this might all go together. But it has come together remarkably well. It's always nice when things are run smoothly. This one potentially had a fair bit of work behind it. However, Working very, very well. That's all that stuck down at all. Stick this down a bit here, even though it's not on the page, just in case. So all looks good. And there's one last bit. I am going to use this last piece of money. Have that flying down. Oh, there's one little bit that escaped. The original idea was to have the whole, you know, the money right close to the snake, and we have this one little bit that gets away. So let's see about this. Lovely. As you see, I made this, came up with the idea before. This is why it was in a little plastic pocket, and I wanted it to, so I had the had a little note for myself of how to do it, because I would come back to it later. Now for this bit here, I've cut out there, this needs sticking back, so I'll just use an offcut here. To hold this in place, to patch it up. That's great there. And let's see if I can get away with trimming it off here. See, while I do enjoy doing the digital pieces because it's easier to do and I can get to keep my material, this is still also very nice having the actual physical piece, and also I'm less likely to lose it because I did in the early 2000s a whole load of pieces based on George Bush, and I have lost the actual media storage where they're on, so those are lost apart from the ones that have been already printed in something for a great deal because they were good pieces of artwork. So I have to rescan a couple of those in. The best ones, some of the ones that aren't as good, I don't mind so much. But the best ones I'm going to scan in and keep. Scan in and got them back again. Now, right, so I've got to figure out where I'm going to sign this. So I'll sign it here. Ooh, I need to glue this a little bit down. And I shall actually call this the Venture Capitalist. So here it is. Let's see, whether you like it. Do you like this piece? I think this has worked incredibly well. I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out. So even if I only ever make this piece, that book has been worth it. Just for this alone, how well this has worked out in my eyes. If you like this, like, share, and subscribe. Comment me if you like it. And my description has my link tree, which has my merch links and my socials. It also has the link to my Patreon. and I shall look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.